Welcome back to another episode of Hoop Sense. I'm your host, Trey Edwards.
And I'm Mike Zakarian. It's good to be back.
Man, we took a little break.
Yeah, I mean, much like the NBA, we tanked for a couple of weeks. I think that's what we did.
I don't think, you know, the crazy thing about it, it had zero to do about fatigue or the league or anything like that. It's shout outs to the people at WTF.
Yeah.
They are booked and busy, dude. If like you don't get a booking,
You gotta get in early.
it's filled.
Yeah.
It's filled. You know what I mean? Like, and we all have our respective schedules. We're busy and things of that nature. But
Sorry, we're locking in now.
yeah. I locked it in, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, give us a discount or something, man, because I locked it a month this time around. But nah, shout outs to the good folks. You know what I mean? They make sure that we look great.
Yep.
And the quality's top tier.
Absolutely.
Man, let's start the show.
Let's do it.
A lot has happened.
Just last night, a lot has happened.
We got 9 games left.
It's crazy. But I honestly, like, there was I think it was over the weekend. It was like Wizards, Jazz, or Hornets. And I was like, you know what? It's time for the playoffs.
Actually, you got 7 games. I'm just thinking about it right now.
Yeah. I think I'm done seeing some of these teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I seen a conversation at 7 p.m. Brooklyn talking about shortening the season and things of that nature, but also like a great analysis of Carmelo Anthony and Rudy Gay breaking down like how the burnout is of NBA guys, right? And I had a little pushback about it, right? So you're saying like they should get the games down to 68 or, 65. But realistically, the guys claiming, oh, we want less games, or guys become less interested, or they're checked out and they're ready for the playoffs, or some of the teams are tanking out. You got to think about fast forward when it's towards the end of your career and you're asking, can I play just one more game?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I even think about like, and I know we were just giving the Wizards a little bit of guff there, but some of these guys, this is like their opportunity to shine a little bit here at the end of the season and get themselves an opportunity to play again next season, you know? So I don't know how the league fixes it. Like, I do think it feels a little bit more aggressive this year as opposed to last year, but they're never going to say less games. Like, the owners are never going to be like, you know what, we should make a little less money this year.
Yeah.
They're never going to agree to that.
No, they're not. But speaking of Carmelo Anthony, you're headed to the Hall of Fame. Congrats, bud.
I love it.
Man, more than deserving. I don't think anybody's arguing that. Was a terror 3-level score, just a headache to guard. From what I've heard.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think it was the same podcast they had Blake Griffin on with Melo, and it's when Melo found out that he thought he was going to get inducted or whatever the initial announcement was, and he was like, "Yeah, I couldn't believe it," and Blake had like the best reaction of being like, "You couldn't believe it." Like, come on, Melo. You've been like one of the best scoring forwards of all time. You were going in.
Yeah.
You were going in first ballot.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you just don't know, though.
Yeah.
Right? You feel like you have all the qualities, right?
Yeah.
It's not baseball, though.
No.
But like baseball is probably the one that you really are stressed out.
Right. I mean, like some of the best players of all time still not in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
We need to make the NBA like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting in.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting in. I'm about to be a Hall of Famer podcaster soon.
Get Trey in.
Get me in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. I've contributed a lot to this game.
We get you out to Springfield.
You know, that's what we really need. But like, let's talk on a serious note, man. We want to shout out Steph Curry. Like what he's capable of doing at 37. 52.
Yeah, 52. Was it 12 for 20 from 3? You know, like an efficient 12 3-point makes is crazy. Sam Esfandiari from the Light Years pod, who covers the Warriors, was saying on Twitter that he likes this version of Steph, or more so than even like the young flying around Steph.
Yeah.
Just because of like how it's. Maybe he doesn't have the same level of athleticism, but it's just inevitable that he's going to get to his spots, and you just can't stop it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the gravity, man. You add the Jimmy Butlers, the Draymond's being a little bit more aggressive on offense. They got the mentality. Like I said, don't mess around and let this team feel like they can win, man. And
they feel it.
We're gonna talk about a team that this team basically goes into that topic. I wanted to shout out Nikola Jokic,
Oh,
bro.
man, that's
60-point triple-double, 61, 11, and 10.
That was dumb.
in a loss.
Yeah. I mean, what an awesome game, though. I mean, we're
Sure.
just talking about the tanking or whatever. I mean, to get like a double overtime game, and that might be a first round matchup between Denver and Minnesota. But yeah. Ant-Man's reaction to that after the game, too, was crazy, where he was just like, this guy's the best player I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's my best game I've been part of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you really think about that, it's just like,
That might have been the best game of my life, like that I've been a part of.
yo, Jokic is for real.
Just crazy, man.
It sucks though, man, because like I don't want to compare eras, man, and I don't want to bring him into them conversations with some of the great bigs, but like the performances has, the stat lines, when we look at it, it's very Wilt-like.
Yeah. It is. It is very well. I mean, like the only line that I could see in a box score that would be surprising is if he had like 8, 9, and 7. You know what I mean? Like any other number, I'd be like, oh yeah, of course he had 65, 18, and 9 or whatever.
What are you gonna tell your kids about Nikola Jokic?
Yeah, probably the best player that I've ever seen. I mean, that's really
To be fair though, we both didn't see Wilt.
No.
So this is I would explain it in a brief summary, no chat GPT, that this player is the closest thing to a modern day Wilt,
Yeah.
dominance wise.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's just wild that like there was a highlight reel going around this week of just Jokic passes with Magic passes, and it's just like morphing one into the other, and that's just like one aspect of his game. Like he can put up 60, like we saw. He can get you 20 boards and get 18. Like
He also can shoot the three.
I know for the fact, and like on decent volume, like he's almost. He was 50% from 3 for a while this season. I think it's dipped down a little bit now, but yeah, it's crazy. I know we're going to talk MVP in a little bit too, and it's wild. Like we're seeing these numbers, and he might be a second place finisher.
Great segue.
Yeah.
You mentioned MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, amazing, having a wonderful season. The Thunder are having a great season. We'll be talking about them a lot in this episode. But Nikola Jokic is making his case, and that's, again, most valuable to your team. So if you take Jokic off this team, does the Nuggets still make the playoffs? If you take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander off the Thunder, does the Thunder still make the playoffs? And that's the question. And it's not that like Jokic has been off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's been consistent. He's averaging a triple-double. But what Shai's doing as well is like, you know, I think it was 30 straight. I know it was like 60 games or something like that with 25 or more.
Yeah, it's
like,
nuts.
yeah. I mean, both of them are having an like incredible season. But
Yeah.
there can only be one.
I think what's been nice too, though, like especially the last couple of years, some of the conversation around the MVP has been pretty gross. Like not a fun conversation to participate in. I don't feel that this year. This feels
Okay.
like, and maybe you're seeing it differently. I don't know, but it seems like people who are team Jokic for MVP aren't saying like, "Oh, Shai sucks." Like Shai should. I think both sides are like, "No, I understand. I would understand your vote either way."
I don't have decision fatigue or voters fatigue or success fatigue, whatever you want to loop this in. But at the idea of like seeing Shai do what he does, because I felt like last year he should have won.
Yeah, I would have been fine with it.
And now we're in a situation where Jokic, whether he cares or not, it's a very evident thing that like he's dominating and
Yeah.
no one can stop it.
Also,
like even I'm pretty sure after his games, they were like both watching each other's games. Like, dang, I gotta one up this.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, I even wonder if he saw it. I mean, probably didn't, but Steph goes for 52.
But that's
He's
what I'm
like,
saying. Like he didn't see it like that, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was one of those things of like Steph's like strutting, feeling good.
Yeah.
And then he's like, come on.
Right, like immediately.
Come on. Are you kidding? He had what?
Yeah, not to bring the Celtics into this, but I was watching that new Celtics doc on HBO.
How is it?
It's a little, I don't know. There are moments that are really high. This most recent episode was a lot of like Bill Walton stuff.
Okay.
Actually, my main takeaway, we got to get Robert Parrish more microphone time. He's
Really?
incredible in it, like incredibly charismatic, very funny. So
Love
more Robert Parrish.
Shouts to Chief.
But it was, I think McHale went for like 52 in a game. And then and Larry Bird's telling the story of McHale subbing himself out with like a couple minutes left. And Larry's like, what are you doing? You need to get as many as you can because I'm about to beat this. And then it was like a week later, he went for 60.
See, you gotta love that, man.
I love- yeah.
When you get to a teammate that just cause, hey, yeah, you hooping, but
Come on.
Like I need that. Like I don't know if that's in this game.
Yeah, I think there's like some flashes of it. Like even Anthony Edwards last night where he was talking about Jokic he's like, oh, it's the best I've ever seen outside of myself, of course. Like I like that he threw that in there.
You got to throw him in there, man.
Believe in yourself.
You know, he would have been getting, believe this.
Yeah.
So moving right along to team of the week, we talked about the Oklahoma City Thunder. 75 games into the season, and Thunder only have 12 losses.
It's crazy.
And are on a 10-game winning streak. Who is the most dangerous team to face in the West?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I like seeing Golden State, what they're doing right now. I wouldn't be pumped to play them. I just like it's Steph Curry. I think if he's going to go out there and drop 52 and now with Jimmy having another like elite playoff scorer come to light, I don't know. I think Golden State's up there for me. And then I think, honestly, the Clippers, I feel like I've been on a roller coaster with the Clippers on Hoop Sense this season, where at the beginning I was like, let's go. And then they slowed down a little bit, but they got to look right now. And Kawhi looks awesome and healthy.
Man, I see the Lakers.
Yeah.
And I see the Warriors giving them a real hard time.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
You think just like the Lakers' size and I mean, obviously LeBron and Luka.
Experience, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, regular season's cool, but I would love to be shut up.
Yeah.
I'm not mad or I don't want to see OKC lose.
No.
But I think that will be their biggest test.
Yeah. I almost hope they kind of get a test early in that first round. Like if they somehow got matched up against like a Minnesota or a Clippers and just kind of get hit in the mouth a little bit right away, just to like get over that hump. Because I do think if they can get tested a little bit and then move on, I think they'll smooth to the finals.
Stat boy. Yeah, that's me. 27-1 is the 2025 Oklahoma City Thunder with 2 games left.
Yeah. Well, at home?
Yeah.
They've only lost one time out?
Yeah. And then the other closest to them is the 2016 Golden State Warriors, 07 Dallas Mavericks, and the 2000 Lakers went 27-3.
Wow. All right. That's their home record. Damn. They've only lost one time at home?
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that. That's crazy. I thought the Celtics did that one time, like a long time ago, like in the 80s. They had something crazy that like 86.
I'm pretty sure, but the games are probably different too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wow. Chet and iHeart are 232 minutes together, 123.7 offensive rating, plus 14 net rating, and OKC has only allowed 9 30-point games this season.
Wow. I mean, their defense is nuts, right? Like when SGA is your, worst defender.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
They just sort of like Lou Dort out there just bodying up people.
If they don't win it all, this is an absolute failure.
Yeah, you think so? It's got like chip or bust, even if they got to the finals and lost in the finals?
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
You've dominated all year.
So finish it?
You have to.
Yeah. I think I would take them over Cleveland. I think I would. If it was a Cleveland OKC matchup, I think I'd feel pretty comfortable picking the Thunder. I don't know. Again, this is like the 4th time I've mentioned the Celtics in the first 9 minutes. I do feel like Boston, when they are clicking, and they look good right now too. I mean, Tatum looks insane. So I feel like that kind of matchup, I would still maybe lean Celtics, but I'm with you to the point, like if they don't get out of the West, they got to get out of the West.
They have to get out of the West.
They've been too dominant. You can't have like a 13-game lead.
But you also can't be like, oh, they're 27-1. Oh, they only let go 9. You know what I mean? Only let 9 players score over 30.
Yeah.
Like, to do what?
Yeah, no, you get
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like all these achievements this season, and they're saying, oh, and they also have draft capital. Cool.
Yeah, well, what is the draft capital for if you're already winning 70 games? You know what I mean? Like, so you can win 72 games? Like, yeah, I'm with you on that. And I mean, like, listen, the window does get smaller because you gotta start paying people, and it's not like OKC, a smaller market team, but they also probably don't want to get themselves into that second apron situation. So like when Chet needs to get paid and then SGA gets his supermax and all that stuff, like you got to do it now. You never know.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. The Detroit Pistons have tripled their win total from last season.
That's crazy.
And almost a lock to have a first round matchup against the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah. And they want to fight people too. Like Detroit's out there.
I mean, like I've seen people complaining about Isaiah Stewart, but like
No.
it's just a repeat of the Pistons and the
Yeah.
East, man.
I'm here
A little
for
bit
it.
physical. And he knows he's not out there hooping, but I think still gotta like have some type of offensive focus out there.
Yeah.
And they're trying to have some embodiment. They had a brawl, 7 players got ejected, you know what I mean, amongst the coaches and everything else. But yeah, I just was like, I like Detroit, but don't get annoying.
Yeah, don't get annoying. Well, I think it's dangerous because they got Beef Stew and Ron Holland out there.
Correct.
They're real physical and feisty. But I'm happy for this Detroit run. I want it to go as long as possible. I kind of think Indiana is going to be a tough matchup for them because Indiana has been hooping. You take out like that first month of the year, they've been incredible this year. Like Halliburton looks right. But yeah, shout out Detroit, man.
Moving right along to next man up. Jarris Walker. Indiana Pacers had 15 points, 6 for 10 field goals in 22 minutes versus the Kings.
Yeah.
Love Jarris. Got a chance to spend some time with Jarris during the McDonald's All-American when he was, at the games. And he's finally getting a look. You know, I think as he cracks the rotation and continue to get minutes and they find some time for him, he's going to be able to play well. So,
yeah, and this is only year 2 for him too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I it's good to see him like crack the rotation a little bit and have some spike moments, and they do like their bench. They kind of need somebody like him too, and he's probably not when we get into the playoffs not playing like major minutes, but I bet he has a couple of opportunities. So I'm with you on that. Yeah, shout out Jarris.
all right, Zachary.
Reese Haché, a Frenchman, Zachary. Yeah,
It's Zachary, huh?
yeah.
Sorry.
What are you
Zachary.
just gonna say with a thick French accent?
Well, I was going to say Zachary.
Yeah, see,
Risache.
Yeah, see, nailed it. Nobody's gonna question
All
that.
right. Zachary Risache had 33 and 6, 12 and 21 field goals against the Bucks. And also Risache is shooting 40% on 4.8 three-point attempts.
Yeah. I know this year didn't go like the way that Atlanta wanted it to go, obviously, but at least that is a bright spot.
Yeah.
And, man, we were talking early on the draft class, and it's like, oh, there's no Wemby, it's not this. I mean, we're at a point now where there's like a handful of rookies that are like putting up numbers. Might not be in like playoff situations, but that's usually how that goes,
Hooping available.
Yeah.
AJ Johnson out in Washington as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of rookies figuring it out. I still think Castle is my rookie of the year.
I think so too. I think if the season was like 6 weeks longer, I could see somebody like Reese Haché, or even I know there's going to be another guy we're talking about in a little bit
Maybe like a
who could
Sarr.
catch him. Yeah, Sarr's been doing all right too. Yeah,
Sarr's been hooping, man. It's some growing pains.
Yeah.
Man. And, I know Bronny James has been fluctuating up and down, but he's had his bright spots as well.
yeah. He's been had a couple of meaningful, or like he hit that 20-point game, right? Didn't he have a 20-point game? Or 17, something like that. I know.
30-point loss, but yes.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man.
Hey, man.
Numbers are numbers.
Numbers are numbers, man. Moving right along to high hand. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
The Claw is back in rare form, averaging 25, 7, and 4 in his last 10. Clippers finally healthy. They're now 8-2 in their last 10. And then they're currently in the 8th seed, but only 1 game back of the 5th seed.
Yeah.
And this is where the West gets really tough.
Right? Because you have like Golden State, I think right now either is like tied with the Grizzlies, and then the Grizzlies we'll talk about, and then Minnesota's only a half game behind both of those teams, and then the Clippers a half game behind Minnesota. So like that, you win 2 games in a row, all of a sudden the Clippers are playing like the Lakers in the first round or something like that. Where do you think, like, what's your ceiling for this Clippers team right now?
I just think they can just shock somebody. I think depending who they match up with, it's a first round exit.
Yeah.
But
How about Houston? They get Houston in the first round. How do you feel?
I think Houston gets them.
Yeah?
Yeah, Houston's good, man.
Yeah. I think I would
They're
lean.
young and good, but they're not Western Conference Finals good.
Yeah. No, I don't think they're Western Conference Finals good either.
They're good enough to win a playoff series. though.
Yeah. I thought that Lakers game against the Rockets was like kind of interesting, just down the stretch. I think that's my biggest concern about Houston, where it's
Okay.
just like the last 5 to 7 minutes of a fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like, where do they go to get their points?
Lack of focus. That's it.
Yeah.
Lack of focus.
Yeah.
Not
But
that,
Ime will have them.
Not that Ime has lost a team, but
No.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Jalen Green, speaking of the Rockets, 28.7 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game. And the Rockets were 3-0 last week. So Jalen Green was one of the players of the week.
Yeah, he's been putting together the second half of the year. I remember last year he had that stretch, right? In like March where everybody was like, oh, it was small sample size, whatever. It's cool to see him doing this again.
Yeah, definitely. Paolo Banchero,
There's your guy.
my guy, 30.3 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 4.3 assists, and the Magic went 3-1 last week.
There's a version of Orlando where if you just took out 6 weeks, they're like in the 5 seed in the East, right?
I mean, in 8th right now, but like had a lot of woes where most teams would have bottomed out, and they showed a lot of resilience, and they're still trying to figure these things out. But overall, like, you know, even though I haven't had any nice things to say the last 2 episodes, I'm excited for what the boys could do.
Yeah.
To the closing stretch and have some momentum going into the playoffs.
And they defend, like they at least will keep themselves in some matchups because they defend the hell out of the ball. And I saw KCP finally had a night. Feel like we haven't had a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope night in a while, and I think he like had 7 triples last night.
Yeah.
He just did. Nobody talks about that because Steph hit 12.
It gets overshadowed.
Yeah.
OG.
Man, I did not see this coming from like when OG's like 20, I think his last 15 games, he's like averaging like 22 or something like that.
29 in his last 5. But the thing is, no Jalen Brunson.
Sure.
Mikel's hooping. So they got DeLon Wright at point right now.
Yeah.
Just kind of sharing the sugar, getting guys. But like, what do the Knicks do when Jalen Brunson returns?
I mean, hopefully, like if most of the attention is going to be going to Brunson on the offensive end, life should get easier for OG, right?
Does OG go back into his defensive role and stop scoring?
Well, they do need somebody to defend on that team if in the playoffs. You know, like they are. That's going to be their problem. Otherwise, they're going to have to go Indiana Pacers of last year and try to outscore teams by like scoring 130. You know.
Yeah.
But I do think it seems like they're going to get. I wouldn't say lucked out, but Milwaukee in the first round, and I don't know how healthy Milwaukee's going to be.
That is true. They got the injury bug over there.
Yeah.
So good call out on that. Matas Buzeli.
There we go. That's another one. You stretch the regular season out a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe rookie of the year.
Matas Bird, man.
Yeah, Matas Bird.
Matas Bird. Matas was, you know, he was projected to be a number 1 pick. I don't know how he slipped so much, but he had 28, 9, and 6 the other night on 10 and 17 shooting. It seems like the Bulls front office has some competence.
There we go.
And I know we was kind of, you know, being tough on them, but they got some guys out of there, some vets that needed to be moved, and now they're on the up and up.
Yeah, I mean that
backcourt of Giddey and Kobe White.
Kobe White, you want to talk about hooping,
Bumping.
man? I love
for
it.
sure.
And I was saying this the other day. Listen, they're not gonna win a first round playoff series. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think in a first round, you're probably not thrilled to get a team like Chicago who's just gonna be running up and down.
They're
right?
the mosquitoes, bro.
Yeah.
They're gonna be so annoying on a hot day.
And Giddey too, man. It's been nice to see him, like, because I know it was a little bit of a slow start. Has really filled into his role there.
Dude,
he's gonna get paid.
Josh Giddey's gonna get paid.
Yeah,
22.8 points per game.
You think Chicago tries? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you good? Go ahead.
Do you think Chicago tries to
bring him back for sure? 100%. They're not. He's not a rental. 22.8 points per game, 65.5 true shooting, 10.5 rebounds per game, 9.2 assists per game, and 1.6 steals per game post All-Star break. Man's on a mission.
He is, man. And that was like the biggest ding against him was his shooting. And if he's able, and he's not, you don't need him taking like 7 threes a game, but if he's able to at least make you defend him behind the 3-point line, it makes his other skill set so much better because of his like size, you know, and his passing. So, but if you can like sag off him like that, then it's going to be a problem. But if he's knocking it down, and that half court shot, the game winner again, that was a wild.
Where were you at when that happened?
I like had just missed it. I had just missed it, so I caught a bit of it on my phone, and then I pulled it up on.
I was leaving dinner, and I was just like, let me just take a peek real quick. And I was like, dang, the Lakers are in a dogfight with the Bulls?
Yeah.
And then I see the layup from Reeves, and they're going crazy.
Yeah.
They just kind of like didn't play to the whistle end, and he got a good look, and it was bam.
You know what I loved? It's not that he left the gooseneck up after it went in. From the moment it left his hand, he had his hand up there like that. Like he kind of knew, I think this is going down.
Yeah, that's a fact, man.
Yes,
It's
it was
so
sick.
good, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
So things that aren't fun. We're gonna move on to the 30-second timeout. Tanking. Is it a real thing this season?
Dude, I mean, there's so many teams that are tanking right now.
Okay.
Right? I mean, the Sixers, if you were in Philly right now, you get 18 to 20 minutes in Philly right now. I mean,
I don't want to see myself on the basketball court right now getting 18-0. But go ahead.
But I mean, like, Philly is going out of their way. Toronto changed the game. You know, the Yankees are evolving by using torpedo bats. The Raptors evolved the tanking game by being like, hey, we're not going to bench we're not going to like rule our guys out. Scotty Barnes just going to play 18 minutes a game.
Yeah. I don't know. I was talking to somebody earlier about, because they were trying to understand the whole draft process about like they should do it like the NFL. And I was like, nah, because they would purposely be bad. And could you imagine a Jokic missing the entire season, then they end up with the number one player?
Right.
Like, you have to see it. It's like it's all probability and all those things. But I think the sour part about the tank part is like you have a bad team and you manage to still get a terrible pick.
Yes.
Like when you end up like 7th or 8th in the lottery, that sucks.
Right. I mean, that sucks for everybody. That sucks for the organization. That sucks for the fans. You know, like you endure the last like 4 or 5 weeks of the regular season while your team's getting blown out on purpose. And then you're like, here you go, 8th pick.
Nah, that's so real.
Do you think there's anything like, I mean, I know every podcast was like, this is how you fix tanking. I don't have like an answer
I don't
for
think you can fix tanking.
Yeah.
I don't think you can fix it because, again, it's just a strategy, man. Whether you remove the lottery ball or not, like everybody's been just basically, trying to land that player.
Yeah.
But also, you never know.
Right.
You could say, oh, AJ DeBansta or whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? One of the Boozer twins or however, and say, oh, this is who we're going to get. It don't work like that.
Right.
Oh, we trying to get Cooper Flag. Okay. Cooper Flag might end up on a good team because via trade.
Right. You never know.
You just never go.
Yeah.
Memphis Grizzlies, what's going on?
Dude, man, I don't know. That it's there.
I know April Fool's was yesterday, but I thought it came a little week early when I seen that firing.
I know. I just don't. I have a tough time understanding the thought process of doing it like 9 games before. Now I know everybody's trying to link it to like what the Kings did a couple of months ago before trading Fox and letting Mike Brown go. But then, to me, that's so different.
Yeah.
Like letting go of a coach with 3 months of the regular season left is very different than a team that was currently 4th in the West with 9 games left being like, you're out of here, coach. Like, I don't know, man. And it seems like they might. Like they are 2 games out of like the 8 seed. They are going to be in the play-in.
You think that they're going to clean house?
I think so.
So fired Taylor Jenkins and then trade Ja Morant.
I mean, the Ja stuff's weird right now. Also, the NBA investigating Ja Morant for the thing with the Warriors last night? What are we doing?
Boredom.
Right?
Boredom.
Hey, listen, I'm not.
But to be fair, as the resident 40-year-old man on a couch,
Sure.
maybe you don't do that.
No, okay, yes. Okay, maybe you don't do that.
Maybe you don't do that.
Maybe you
I think it's harmless.
Yes.
I think it's harmless.
I'm just saying.
But my guy, you just got in trouble for that.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to bring the show there. I'm just saying have that same energy, Adam Silver, for some of the other stuff.
It's a lot of stuff, other stuff happening.
There's a lot of other stuff that I would put on a higher ranking than Ja Morant pointing, you know? Like, I know it's a little bit more than pointing.
Yeah, I mean, look, finger guns ain't never hurt nobody.
No. And then we'll stop it there.
That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it at that, man.
Yeah.
That could be the title of the episode.
Yeah,
finger guns ain't never hurt nobody. That's just the real thing about it. I mean, I just need Ja to focus on basketball and play well.
Yeah.
Like, this league was his a few years ago, and obviously the situation happened where he got hurt, and then he had the Instagram Live thing, and it just hasn't been great for him. You know what I mean? Trending upwards. He's been kind of even keel at that line, and it will be very interesting to see what Memphis does.
I know, and I like it. To me, seems too early to cut bait with Ja. Like, I don't know what the locker room situation is, but I mean, I like that core of Ja, Bane, and Triple J. Like, I think that is a really strong core, and I mean, they have pieces there to, I think, make runs. But I don't know. Clearly, the front office felt differently, and I don't know. Taylor Jenkins does have that energy of being like, I'm out. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of them situations where, obviously, from what I've read, was that he just wasn't dialed in as far as the offense.
yeah,
Like, it's like working at a job and you like, it pays well, but like, I don't have no digital footprint on this. Like,
sure.
I didn't contribute to this and I'm kind of bored.
yeah,
In his situation, it's like, oh, well, he's making a bunch of money. He's coaching Ja Morant. They good. Because it was a shock to me.
yeah,
And then it was like, oh, there's times where he's checked out or he's available. And then that he's also seemed bored of the offense that was being ran.
yeah.
So then for them to make the head of offense, the head
Yeah.
coach was kind of like I felt like it was like a very shady business inside doing.
Yeah. Then even to further your analogy a little bit more too, like it's like working that job and getting paid well, and except the summer before they fired all your friends that you worked with. That was the other thing I totally forgot. I forgot they like let go of all of his staff before this season started. So I guess the writing on the wall was a little bit was there. But again, it was the timing that just felt crazy. Do you think Ja's there next year? Do you think he's on Memphis?
Yeah, I do. I think he's still gonna be on the roster. I just right now, I don't even know what to say, man.
Yeah.
I honestly, because I have so much high hopes, and I still have high hopes. I thought he would come back and just be tearing the league up. But
Yeah.
I think there's some growing pains that just still needs to be addressed at this point.
Yeah. I just say if you're gonna make redemption merch, you need to go through the redemption arc. You know, I need to see it now. We need it.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. All right, moving right along to player of the game. Who's your player of the game?
Right now, I mean,
Jokic or Shea?
I mean,
I'm making you choose MVP, by the way, right now. Live on the spot.
man, I think. Listen. Oh, I don't know. I think the political answer wants to be Shea because their team is
No,
so
I don't want
good.
a political answer.
But give it a Joker, man. Let's plant the flag. Let's give it a Jokic.
I'm going Shea, man.
After all that, you made it sound like you were going to take Jokic.
I've always been going to Shea, though.
Yeah.
Like, I reward the winners.
Yeah,
It's been that for me.
yeah.
Like, he's been dominating, dude. Like, foul merchant or not, whatever you want to
the
call
foul
him.
merchant stuff. I hate that stuff.
I'm just saying, whatever the casual feel,
Yeah,
I don't care about it.
yeah.
Bro is really good. They winning. He don't have to play the whole game, but sometimes he do. Just depends. And
Do
yeah,
you,
just put up.
all right, I'm gonna take your what you said earlier and have you answer it. The hypothetical that you pulled. So if you take Jokic off the Nuggets, do the Nuggets make the playoffs?
No.
And if you take Shea off the Thunder, do the Thunder make the playoffs?
No.
Oh, you don't think the Thunder make the playoffs either?
No.
Okay, all right, then there we go. I'm back with you. I thought you were
No.
gonna say they did.
I don't. Shouts to Jalen Williams. Shouts to the respective team. But we do have to respect the gravity of a Shea Gilgeous.
Oh yeah,
Alexander.
absolutely.
The confidence is there because the star is pouring into the players.
Yeah,
Isaiah Joe, you know what I mean, the Chet Holmgrens, the
yeah.
Isaiah Hardensteins, like just the list goes on. That Aaron Wiggins of the world, like they wouldn't have that type of confidence
Sure. I know. I think that's right.
without Shea.
I think that's right. I'm with you in the sense that
Lou Dort led.
dude, let's come on. The Dort
Thunder.
report, baby.
I'm good.
No, I do appreciate the thought though of like, listen, they're both neck and neck. If you give it to either one of them, I'm fine with it. But you're like, hey, my tiebreaker is the Thunder have lost only 12 games so far this season, and the Nuggets are kind of in the mix for that 3, 4, 5. So that makes sense. SGA is going to win. Like he's for sure going to win.
You think for sure?
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
I think
Voters, do
also,
your job.
and the voters will look at stuff like this, like, oh, are we really
I
going to
just
give it
don't
to
want to
Joker?
go back years from now and say that Joker should have got it.
I think the only way that happens is if somehow Denver runs through the playoffs this year. And if OKC doesn't get to the finals, people will be ripping their hair out, being like, what are we doing? But I don't see that happening, though.
I don't see it happening either. Well, you know what time it is. Trey's Magic Minute. and I want to highlight my team. It's been a rough couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been tough.
But we back, man. Positive energy. 3-1 last week. Paolo Player of the Week. And then we're 7 in the East. I don't know if we still want to remain 7 in the East, but bring it on.
Yeah.
Ready for everybody.
Franz has been hooping too. I feel like he's strung together a couple of solid weeks. Who would you rather play, the Cavs or the Celtics in the first round, assuming you get out of the play-in?
Cavs.
Cavs?
Yeah.
You guys kind of give Cavs the problems a little bit.
Yeah, it's matchups. I mean, it was a fun series last year.
Yeah.
And I think that they kind of like do the dance around, but the Celtics are just tough, man.
Yeah.
They're tough, top to bottom, man.
Yeah, Tatum really has been like so good. He's been so
Yeah.
good this year. Again, I feel like any other era, like or 5 years in the future, 5 years in the past, Tatum's probably in the MVP conversations this year.
Man,
And
it
that's
has to be.
again just how good Jokic and SGA are this season.
Them dudes are amazing athletes, amazing basketball players, and continue to get the job done.
Yeah.
But
Can-
yes, go ahead.
Can I throw one more thing at you
Absolutely.
here? Who is your defensive player of the year right now?
I mean,
I know Draymond's got the big push this last couple of weeks.
Dyson Daniels has been great,
that's my guy.
but reward the winners.
Oh, yeah, all right. That's fair. I respect it.
Draymond Green.
I respect it. Well, why not Mobley then?
Sure, but
Yeah.
nah.
Not Draymond.
Because I feel like it's Mobley and Allen.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's not just him. And you think Draymond is like the defense?
Yeah, Draymond's quarterback in that joint,
Yeah.
like for real.
Yeah, I think you're right. I want to give it to Dyson Daniels so badly, but I get it.
We'll find out.
We will.
Well, thank you for watching. I was about to say attending.
You think maybe they were here?
Yeah. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. I promise we won't leave you. We booked up all the time slots just for you. And thank you for tuning in.